Hello, everyone. I am Tong Nie from the University of Minnesota. Today, I'll present our paper entitled Peripheral Teleportation, a rest frame designed to mitigate cybersickness during virtual locomotion. Virtual locomotion is the primary cause of cybersickness because of the visually perceived motion. The peripheral vision is highly sensitive to motion, and reducing optical flow in the periphery has been the primary focus of cybersickness mitigation. For example, the field of view restrictor eliminates peripheral optical flow by turning the outer ring in the field of view black. However, a wider field of view is desired for user experiences. There are other mitigation techniques that allows visual content in the periphery, like the rest frame technique. The downside of the current rest frame design is that it still partially blocks the virtual environment, and previous results were inconclusive on the effectiveness of a dynamic rest frame. Despite this, ecological psychologists predicted that Earth's referent rest frames are the most effective cybersickness mitigation technique. However, this hypothesis has never been explored before, and there has been no previous work on the rest frames without blocking the virtual environment. Unlike previous rest frame implementations, we created a rest frame in the periphery using content from the virtual environment. We created two extra sets of cameras attached to stationary camera rigs. The local transform of these cameras are the same as the HMDs, which means their motion is only affected by the user's physical movement. As a result, the output of each rest frame camera serves as a rest frame. The periphery is blended by the output of these two cameras using the given equation. The position of the rest frame cameras are teleported once every capital T seconds. Here's an example. We set the teleportation interval capital T to 1 second after internal pilot testing. When the user starts to move, camera RF1 is placed at the same position and orientation as the HMD. RF0's position is predicted based on the velocity of virtual locomotion and capital T. Because small t is 0, the interpolant is 0, or RF0 is invisible. So the blended image is the same as the HMD's view. But after 0.3 seconds, the interpolant becomes 0.3. RF0's image is starting to show up in the periphery. And after 0.7 seconds, RF0 is becoming dominant. And after 1 second, the interpolant is 1 and RF1 is invisible. Theoretically, if the user does not deviate from the predicted path, the blended view should be the same as the HMD's view. Since RF1 is invisible, it is a good time to teleport it. And now the whole loop starts again from the beginning. Here's a video showing how it works for translation. On the left side, you can see how RF cameras are teleported consecutively. And on the right side, you can see how the view transits from one rest frame camera to the other. For turning, it works in a similar way by replacing teleportation with snap turns. We conducted a between-subject study with 90 participants to evaluate the effect of peripheral teleportation on cybersickness. Three conditions were included in this study: a control condition, peripheral teleportation, and a black field of view restrictor that occupies the same area. Participants' task was to navigate a virtual city while standing. There are 10 trials in total, each lasts about 2 minutes and a half. Participants rated their discomfort scores at the end of each trial. If they gave a rate of 10 or reported severe discomfort, the navigation task was terminated immediately. We measured participants' cybersickness levels with the SSQ and discomfort scores. Task duration is also included as an objective measure of cybersickness. We also measured the perceived visibility through a 7-point Likert scale and the user's sense of presence. Here are the results. First, the median immersion time in the peripheral teleportation condition exceeded 20 minutes, significantly longer than the 10 minutes observed in the black restrictor condition and the 6 minutes in the control condition. The SSQ scores were not significantly different, but this can be explained by the large differences in the immersion time between the conditions. Similarly, for average and relative discomfort scores, we observe significant differences between the peripheral teleportation and control. Moreover, participants in the peripheral teleportation condition also reported significantly lower discomfort scores compared to the FOV restrictor. We did not find any significant differences in the visibility and sense of presence. Our results are of particular interest to the research field for the following reasons. First, we confirm the effectiveness of dynamic rest frame despite previous results and skepticism. Second, our study is the first direct comparison between an FOV restrictor and an Earth reference rest frame with a consistent occluded area. Finally, peripheral teleportation is the first software-based cybersickness mitigation technique that has significantly enhanced user comfort over the commonly used field of view restrictor. Our results open new directions for cybersickness research, especially for the rest frame technique that remains underexplored. In conclusion, the peripheral teleportation we propose has produced significant innovation on cybersickness mitigation. The peripheral teleportation technique is the first cybersickness mitigation technique to ensure enhance user comfort beyond industry standards. VR practitioners can add this technique to their cybersickness mitigation toolset. Thanks everyone for listening.